just to everybody listening at FM 100.3, KFAN, or the vast and ever-expanding free iHeart audio app. Just hold on for a second. Keep that bunk music going for a little bit, Devin. See you guys.
Go Squatch.
Go Squatch, yeah.
Squatch.com.
Yep. We're looking for a game-worn Perkins. A game-worn Perkins, and I think we have it, 77. All right, good luck to the Squatch. Good luck to Elk River Elks this weekend and everybody else involved. And thank you very much for coming out to Buffalo Wild Wings Elk River for the Friday Football Feast. This portion of the show, this segment, we call IHoP. We dedicate it to the decade and a half co-host of the Friday Football Feast, Paul Charchian, in honor of Paul. IHoP, in honor of Paul. And Paul
let's hear it for Paul Charchian.
Right over here, and listening from Mount St. George Way.
Paul was always a big Elk River guy.
No doubt, yeah, because they're close to rest stops for those who are traveling abroad.
You started to talk there, and I'm like, I don't know what.
Got rest stops all over the place. A lot of rest stops in Utah.
Yeah, he is a rest stop.
He'll never forgive me for some of those raps.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, it's either raining incredibly hard or hailing on the roof of Buffalo Wild Wings Elk River, or we got some audio problems.
Will
with
it
these
be a purple
speakers
rain?
Here. But you know what?
Purple rain?
J-Dub, Jared Wells, he's extraordinaire when it comes to engineering. He'll either fix it or you won't be able to hear us and we'll have to yell.
Yeah.
One of the two things. But in honor of Paul, what we do is we take offensive positions and we rotate them weekly. And it's basically just a touchdown-only bit. Designed to pay homage to the fantasy football focus of 9 to noon and 9 to noon and a lot of people who have followed him all of his career. So we are to running backs. We've gone quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends again, back to wide receivers.
And you're winning.
And now we're at running backs.
With a healthy lead.
6 points, not really. 6 points for rushing a receiving touchdown, 4 points for a passing touchdown. And now with running backs into this week, I have 36 points after T. Higgins. Last time we got together, had a couple of touchdowns. Nordo has 28, only 8 behind. I mean, shoot, we still got a lot of weeks to go.
That's a 2-score lead.
And young Alec has 22. He got blanked with Jamar Chase last week.
I'm getting smoked.
36, 28, 22. Alec goes first. Which running back would you like to use this week in IHOP-like fashion, and why?
Yeah, I'm taking James Cook.
Buffalo Bills, though.
Dalvin Cook's brother of the Buffalo Bills. This guy is really, really good. And I don't think that anybody thought that James was going to be able to be as explosive as his brother. And there are times watching him where it's like, this guy really has it. They do a great job with heavy personnel, and they're playing the Miami Dolphins, which are an abject disaster.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's not just on the field. You hear some stuff about that building and how things are going on in that building, and you start to be real thankful that you're not covering the Miami Dolphins on a day-to-day basis.
Amen.
So, James Cook, the Buffalo Bills, that's my pick, and I'm sure you'll extend your lead.
You know what? I'm going to go second because I want Nordo to go third because I think this may require 5 minutes of explanation or maybe just a couple of minutes. And it's shut up and we move forward.
You guys think I'm crazy.
Well, we're going to figure out exactly what's the method to the madness here with your pick. For me, I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Indianapolis Colts. Game's in Berlin. That's the Berlin clip, I think.
With the Falcons.
Yep,
Can you imagine? Next year, the Vikings, I'm sure, will play in Madrid and Australia.
Yeah, I think they're going to go Madrid, Australia back-to-back.
You're right.
And then
a short week?
Yep.
Short week to Antarctica.
No. The short week is the third one. And the commissioner hasn't announced it yet. Yeah. They're having a game in Manila.
So it'll be a Thursday night game.
Yeah, you're going to go Berlin, Brisbane, Manila.
I'll do a profile on Manny Pacquiao to try to get editors.
Get that budget into the Athletic now, all right?
How long will it take O'Connell to start looking to the media going, 13 sleeps? 12 sleeps.
I think
11 sleeps.
Kevin O'Connell's hairline and mine will be equally moving back.
So, I mean, you guys are going to leave me Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Got to take him.
He's on the table.
We're leaving Jameer Gibbs on the table. I mean, we're leaving some unbelievable.
Bijan Robinson in that same
Derrick
game, by the
Henry.
way.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson. Right.
But it's bad for the image of the show if we were going to pick Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah,
this
but
particular week.
You know what is good for the image of the show? The player you're taking.
All right, so here's my mindset behind it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I'm taking Vikings running back Jordan Mason.
Hey, Jordan Mason for 2 touchdowns.
Jordan Mason, let's go.
All right, let me offer a FINA, Fairness and Nordo Act, okay? You are now hoping Aaron Jones does not play. And here's why.
No.
Because when Jones plays, Mason snaps way down. Mason never scores when Aaron Jones plays.
But he's still going to get in, and you've seen from a run standpoint, you have seen that Jordan Mason still gets the lion's share of run attempts when both are healthy and both are playing. Now, we love what Aaron Jones, and maybe in the end, I'm picking the wrong guy, and I'll be happy a week from now where I had the right idea, but it was Jones instead of Mason.
I think it's game.
The Ravens have allowed 10 rushing touchdowns in 10 games.
Ooh.
And this is a feast where it's ripe with opportunity for the running backs. Their defense, I know, has dictated things with takeaways, specifically the last few games. Talked about a healthier secondary. That defensive front can be had. And the issue that plays into this game, this is all my tout of Jordan Mason, or my tout of a Viking. It's Jordan. It's going to be Mason into the end zone this weekend, and you can write that down now.
I did.
But it's going to be dictated by game flow, as whether it was Greenway, you and I talking about it yesterday. This is not a team that at any point you're chasing in a 10-point deficit. If they're running downhill and Lamar makes a couple of plays, don't freak out. We're not going to beat them 40-6. But you can't sit at home and allow Lamar and that offense to dictate things. So running the ball, just as important as it was a week ago against the Kitties, is almost as vital, if not more so, this weekend at home against the Ravens.
I agree.
And the Ravens' defensive front can absolutely be had. I don't care if Hamilton's in the box. I know we've talked about a speed advantage for the Vikings, and that ain't Mason. That's certainly Aaron Jones, so I like the catch and run game and some similar aspects of how we attack Detroit. But I truly believe, and a little bit of a bit as part of this too, the Vikings are going to be on the doorstep in this game. And it's going to be 2nd and goal. And head coach Kevin O'Connell is a guy that learns from moments. And he's going to learn from a chance when he could have ran Jordan Mason potentially into the end zone to kill some clock, or score a touchdown, I should say, or kill some clock. He chose to pass it. It was incomplete. The Vikings will be at the doorstep on Sunday, and he will have learned from that mistake. And in an attempt to kill the clock, Jordan Mason will find his way into the end zone. 1 or 2 touchdowns from the running backs on Sunday.
I love it. I absolutely love it, because Jordan Mason.
Man, I left Bijan Robinson on the table, didn't I?
Jordan Mason.
I don't know what you're doing.
Needs a good game. All right?
He does.
Jordan Mason needs a good game. Okay, the whole world saw him get trucked in the last game on the pass protection right into the quarterback.
Yep.
The whole world saw 2 broken plays where McCarthy turns around and he's like, what happened? What happened?
Hello?
And Mason tapped himself once, like, my bad. Well, might have been Mason twice.
I think it was Mason.
The way that Wes Phillips, offensive coordinator, talked about it did sound like that was a running back responsibility.
Yeah. Okay, so that means, with all due respect, we're not in our playbook. We're not in our playbook, okay? And you know what? If that is the case, my man, with all due respect, you're not Adrian Peterson. Adrian was always accused, or it always would be pointed out, that he wouldn't get into his playbook. That studying the whole thing didn't really matter that much to Adrian. That's why they never threw to him. That's why his first year here in 2007, he came off the field every 3rd down, and they put Chester Taylor in. Why? Yeah. Pass protection.
That's
catching.
right.
What goes into 3rd down? So when you're botching 2 plays where the quarterback turns around in the newest, biggest game of the season, it's like, what happened? Where is he? Okay, and that happens twice. You're not set the right way in pass protection. They can't throw to you in the first place because you ain't great at that. Jordan Mason needs a big game this weekend. From monitoring the injury report with Jones not practicing, then going limited, we'll see what happens today. and off what Aaron either said via to you guys or my drive-bys or O'Connell with the post game at Ford Field. You know, we've heard it before, Alec. Oh yeah, I feel great. Y'all be fine. Y'all be fine. And then they don't play. So like, what's your vibe with Aaron Jones this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious if today he's a full participant, and if so, I would expect him to give it a go. I do, regardless, I would expect him to be a little hampered. The fact he didn't return in that game was telling to me, considering how much juice he gave in that game. Yeah. Now, I will fully admit that after what I saw from him early in the year, and then he goes out with the injury, with him returning, I was pretty skeptical that he could look like the prime Aaron Jones, right, that he looked like, that I loved of him in Green Bay. And he looked like that. I mean, it was the first run of the game, an 11-yard run to the right. Then the first third down of the game, he catches the screen pass that converts a very big third down. And he just gave so much energy, injected so much energy to the offense that if he cannot give you that to the conversation, it falls on Jordan Mason to be the guy that you acquired and paid from the 49ers. They absolutely desperately need that to be the case.
They do.
And so I with Aaron Jones, if I was a betting person right now, I'd bet that he is active and plays, but how much can he give you? Like I'd have questions about that.
Well, my question about him leaving the game and not returning, I feel like maybe there's a part of that where he had just returned from IR. And it's kind of the game maybe they played a year ago, which would necessitate bringing in Jordan Mason, is the fact that they did everything they could to keep 3-3 healthy a year ago. And they knew, and as the tire treads began to wear down, you saw points where Cam Akers, in some ways, was a little bit more explosive towards the end of the season than Aaron Jones. That should never happen, right? So I wonder if in some ways, and we've seen it with other players, just how protective they've been or conservative when it relates to an injury. It's like, okay, I need Aaron Jones in this game, certainly, but I also need Aaron Jones in December. So do we chill on Aaron for the rest of the day, but then also give him, for the sake of a game like this, and again for the next 9 games of the regular season?
The injury thing, and all of the conversation, whether it's social media or whatever, and people, talking about the injuries is somewhat. I mean, I don't want to say like silly, but you have a team here that is. I mean, players are. The Vikings have very few season-ending injuries. A lot of these guys have come back, and when they've come back, they look sharp.
They do.
And like, you look around the league, there are a lot of places where, players are done for the year. Their season is kind of torpedoed as a result.
So while they brought Joe Alt back,
right,
and now he's done for the year.
Right. So
he's out for the year.
I think he's out for the year.
That's debilitating.
Brutal.
I'll verify.
So while I understand a lot of people, you want guys on the field, you're curious why aren't they back or whatever. Like you have a team right now that besides Josh Oliver, besides Jeff Okudah, and Ryan Kelly, who everybody, even internally, they knew there was injury probability with Ryan Kelly. Yeah. It's a team that's fairly healthy right now. In week 10 of the season.
But I mean, seriously, the 16-17 offensive line combination bit. Yeah, I mean that's difficult for Bear Bryant.
Right, and that's my point. So like. And obviously it's tough when injuries occur, but they're going to occur. And if you're just speaking about the medical staff in particular, like their job is to think long-term, duration of the season, maximize odds that a player can play instead of 7 games, 14 games. And I feel like they've gotten to a place where you got Andrew Van Ginkel back healthy. Brian O'Neill is active and healthy. Christian Darrisaw played full snaps. Yep. Blake Cashman, yes, he was put on IR. It was tough not to have him, but he comes back and he looks like the ultimate Blake Cashman. So it's unfortunate in the moment when you don't have a ton of your guys, but the job at that point of the medical staff is to think long-term, big picture. Yeah. And they've done that.
They have. And I think maybe there's a part of that with Aaron Jones, which leads me back to my dumb Rube homerific, born in Mankato take.
Well, wait, McCarthy too. Are you going down the road of JJ?
But McCarthy's just another terrific example.
Yeah,
We're not going to.
See you, man.
We're not
God
going
bless.
to put a guy in a spot where he can't perform 100%.
That's no problem. That's
We're-
what
we're
the
going
microphone's for. Go ahead. Jeez, holy cow.
We're going to put this route again, whether it's for this weekend or it's for December. We're going to make sure we have our guys. And so this weekend, like I would actually trend. He went from did not practice or did not participate to limited. Whether he's limited or full today, I would actually believe that we'll see Aaron Jones on Sunday. But regardless of what we see from Aaron Jones, I think this isn't a spot where Jordan Mason made some mistakes. He needs to have a good game. Head's not in the playbook. We're going to limit his snaps. I think out of necessity, they're going to still require a bunch of work from Aaron Jones on Sunday. And if they're putting a spot in the red zone where we need to grind one in, maybe it ends up being a Jones to the boundary and it's a race to the finish line. But I just think 2-7 will have myriad chances this weekend to put his stamp on things. And that's why I'm feeling the flow. I want to see 2-7 with a touchdown or two this weekend.
I didn't realize we were still on IHoP.
I didn't realize Jordan Mason's agent was sitting here at the table. What are you, Michael Katz?
Hey, the producer needs his 3%, okay? There's no doubt
you
about it.
love the football team. You love retribution stories.
Yes.
Comeback stories. Don't call it a comeback. Jordan Mason's never been gone.
He needs a good game, and I think that's how you coined a PA, and you're dead accurate.
He could use a big game.
Lucked out of a fumble 1 week against the Steelers. He did not luck out of a fumble against Cleveland. We have not seen, and then this gets into the weeds of, we saw them establish the run with that drive in the third quarter in London against the Browns, loving some of those boundary runs, and Mason can be productive maybe with reps and rhythm.
Yeah.
And that needs to happen in games like this where we can get raced out of a gym pretty quick when the Chargers hold the ball for 40 minutes. The Ravens very much with that run game could hold the ball forever. Let's dictate the pace. And I think Jordan Mason needs to be a part of that story.
Last time we spent this much time on IHOP, I was eating eggs and hash browns.
I had pigs in a blanket.
Well, it's injuries and it's bits, and the running game needs to be a factor, and the kid needs to have a good game. So it all kind of weaves together in a marathon segment, I think.
McCarthy will lead the team at the end of the year in rushing touchdowns.
I agree with that.
Do you find that to be accurate?
Say that one more time.
What in the hell were you just doing?
Someone just showed me something on their phone.
Oh, you're listening. Oh, okay. You're listening via the free iHeart audio app. All right. Well, here's the deal for this is complete narrowcasting here because we got, 150, whatever, 175 here overall, Buffalo Wild Wings, X amount listening at FM 100.3 KFAN and via the free iHeart audio app.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen Jared Wells.
No, he's on the grind.
Well, he's been gone for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So a corporate Gucci with Buffalo Wild Wings, might be Periscope, just arrived. I saw Jared get an envelope, very thick white envelope. I think it had a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
And you know what he's doing? He's rewiring the entire sound system here at Buffalo Wild Wings. That's why he's rappelling from the back, from the ceiling.
The funny thing is, I would actually trust Jared. Like, if you saw him fiddling with fiber wires or something, I would actually trust him to do that.
Well, he's trying to find a Radio Shack right now for a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch adapter.
Yeah.
So, can they hear us? What? I don't know.
No, they can't hear us right now.
Well, that's why Andy Pothen and his group here pulled up the iHeart audio app. And they're listening to it in unison at their 6-person table. So
Andy's the man. He asked me, he's like, are they going to trade for a corner? I'm like, I don't know, but Asante is going to be in the building on Friday.
Well, you can't trade anymore. The deadline's gone.
Well, right now. Well, he didn't ask me today.
Yeah, prior to the
I talk to Andy all the time.
I don't know how deeply rooted your relationship was with my friend Andy Pothen.
When you come to Elk
Mark
River,
emails me all the time.
Jeez! Andy, I didn't know you emailed these guys all the time.
Well, no, Mark does.
I thought our friendship was solo.
when you come to Elk River and
Holy cow!
Listen, when you meet somebody in Elk River, that relationship maintains for a long time.
Generally, their names are Lolita and Tangeray.
Many relationships in life are fleeting, but at the feast, they last forever.
Yeah.
Especially in Elk River.
I completely lost track of what we were talking about. I know there was a filibuster on Jordan Mason.
There was.
I know I said happened 4 times.
Well, I've been wondering, do we need to go to commercial break or how does that work?
Yeah,
we got time.
Yeah, we're fine. Let's break it up though. By the way, Audra Martin.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to properly describe the channel. It's just, I don't know, FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel Sports Network North.
FanDuel Sports Network North.
Yeah.
And she also does work for Twins TV. Audra informed me the other day, hey, I'm going to be in Elk River. So I'm like, well, you got to come on the feast. So she'll be joining us at about 11 a.m. And when we return, holy cow. I mean, this radio show today should be sponsored by a combination of Bernie Kukar, Ed Hockley, and Trey Blake.
Land Clark.
Personal foul.
Land Clark. There's so many clipping penalties that are taking place right now. It's just unbelievable.
One of the Buffalo Wild Wings guys came up. He wanted to be in the segment.
Right in my face.
He was just on
man,
break.
that's what the microphone's for. We use it to talk on the radio.
But I don't blame him.
No, it's good. We're cool. All right, coming up next, how about we take a peek at Philadelphia and Green Bay?
Ooh.
And get some quick twitch opinions there. And then we're going to move into some Viks Bits. Then Audra will join us at 11 a.m. Then we go real hardcore deep diving into Ravens and Vikings about an hour from now.
The Doc.
And we do all that from Buffalo Wild Wings, Elk River. It's the Friday football. Hey, it's the Friday football. Be right back after the cash thing.
The Fan and 2 Minute Junk Truck want to give you a shot to win some bonus bucks with our National Cash Contest. Enter the keyword deposit at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That's keyword deposit. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
Hey, can everybody hear us okay now? Jared Wells, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, give it up now. Engineer extraordinaire. What's up, J-Dub? Hey, can I start pushing these buttons right here?
I wouldn't if I were you.
What was in that fat envelope the Gucci from Buffalo Wild Wings gave you to rewire the entire building? Was there a lot of cash in that?
No comment.
J-Dub, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wells. Hey, also engineer for the vast and ever-expanding KFAN Minnesota Vikings Audio Network. Thank you, J-Dub. So the sound in here is good again. FM 100.3, KFA. See, the thing is we may have cut off our audio nose despite our radio faces because
I don't know what that means.
In fixing the audio here at Buffalo Wild Wings Elk River, nobody can hear us at FM 100.3 KFAN. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you.
So we can say anything.
So this is all for you.
Yeah, so welcome, everybody. Cole Wiseman, happy 40th birthday. Cole Wiseman. Happy 40th birthday, Cole Wiseman. And finally, before we do a little handicapping, your servers, hi servers. Go ahead and just put your hand in the air back there. Servers and bartenders. Tip them nicely, please, okay? They've been here a long time because they line up for the feast at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning to get, seating up here near this table.
Wow.
And then they open, I think, at 8, and, people start chugging at 8:01. People start eating at 8:02. Tip the servers and bartenders exponentially. If you're of the cheap variety, now's not a good time to be cheap. So if you give 50 cents, please give $1. All right? Servers and bartenders, round of applause for the way they execute their toil. Eagles and Packers for the Green Bay Packers, 5-2-1. This will be their first game. This is take one for Green Bay. Sans tight end Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
How you guys see this one?
That is a tough loss for them. I mean, I felt like Tucker Kraft was becoming a top 3 tight end in the NFL. Is that overstated?
No, I like it.
It really felt like he was.
In his most recent action prior to the injury.
It was like 100
career game.
Yeah. Let's think that out top of the head quickly. Who else would it be? Kittle. You got Kittle in there. I don't have Kelsey in there anymore. Kyle Pitts never was in there.
I feel like there's some
the ones in this game at US Bank Stadium. I'm putting them top.
Brock Bowers.
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 How's Warren?
Oh,
Tyler Warren's
hey.
good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's not Bowers, but he's good.
What about Kincaid in Buffalo?
Nope.
Receiver only.
Yep.
And they benefit.
What about
from-
Laporta?
I like Laporta.
He's top 5-ish.
I like Laporta.
But
He struggles to stay healthy sometimes.
Welcome to Elk River, ladies and gentlemen. That's my cousin Tangeray. Say hi to Tangeray.
Are we still on the radio?
Shift coming up at noon. So anyway, Eagles and Packers. We got
And with the tipping.
Yeah, I look. The Packers are an interesting team. I would say right now there's a lot of kind of noise around Matt LaFleur's play calling and Jordan Love. I've told you guys this for a long time. Like, there are times where I watch Jordan Love and it's like, man, that guy's impressive. And then there are times where I watch Jordan Love and I'm like, man, this is unsustainable. And it's felt like that for 3 years for me. And that is a very tough place to be. It just doesn't feel like they are complimentary to a level that you'd really want. And the Eagles are interesting. They added Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher, via the trade deadline. Their defense is going to give you it's going to be really difficult at all times. So that is a really tough bounce back matchup for Matt LaFleur and that Packers offense, I feel like.
You can run the ball on the Eagles a little bit. Now that I'm in the same boat as you with Jordan Love. This is the identity of the team in the way that we would talk about the identity of the Vikings. What identifies the purple? What identifies the Packers is they'll roll out and tie the freaking Cowboys in prime time. Where Jordan Love was electric, when Jordan Love made all the throws and the lights were bright, and he did everything, and he puts 40 on the board for the road team, but somehow their defense and trying to usher Micah Parsons back onto the stage in his old building, they somehow allowed a Dak and George Pickens and company to do what they do. They'll go out and they'll fight you and fist fight the good teams. You see the way they put the game plan together. It's opening week. A lot has changed, the way they beat the kiddies at home. But then they'll do what they did to Rico Dowdle and the Panthers. And Jordan Love may have thrown if you just lined up like all the picks, all the bad throws in the 2025 season, Jordan Love might have 2 of the top 5 in the same game from how hideous he was against the Panthers. But then now you have high-end defending champions in town, bright lights, where Jordan Love has kind of started, it feels like, to turn a corner and operate a little more efficiently and explosively on that stage. So it's very difficult to handicap. I will say this, though. It just kind of feels like, and I hate to look at it this way, was the Vikings game for the Eagles
Feels like it might.
their get-right game? Do you know what I mean in that regard? And I know Saquon didn't get loose. He got loose the following game in a huge way for them. But just in terms of the get-right and the attitude, and the Eagles are their own worst enemy, and they got all these stars, and everybody wants to eat. What's up with the QB? He's kind of weird, and he's quiet, but then he just makes these unbelievable plays, so you deal with it. And maybe aging O-line. You just think about myriad issues that you could have brought up into that game against the Vikings with the Eagles. I don't think you can bring those up. And it's only been a few weeks, but just fresh off the bye, they did add some talent, so the GM is putting all of his investment into the stock. The players feel that vibe. They're going to be better on pass rush. I think the defense with all the young cats, and they've kind of dealt with a few injuries here and there, specifically in the secondary, but they're healthier. It's difficult for me to say that the Eagles off the bye are going to roll into Lambeau and get trucked by this Green Bay bunch.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Like and the Eagles, their defense for me, like I really, by the end of this season, I will wonder if they're just an ascending unit because you get Brandon Graham, who's obviously old and aging, but I still think that guy is capable on the interior.
Made that Jalen Phillips move.
Made the Jalen Phillips move. Quinyon Mitchell is healthy.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean. Like
they got Jair Alexander, don't they?
That doesn't do it.
Yeah, Jair. Me either.
He doesn't do a ton for me at this point. But their linebackers, Zach Campbell and Jihad Campbell, Zach Bond, and Jihad Campbell.
Zach Cunningham.
Jihad Campbell is one of the best defensive rookies in the NFL. Really good in coverage. Just
Campbell is?
Yeah, he is. I like him. And then Vic Fangio, the coordinator, I just think is really, really good. So
maybe ascension is really the key word that you're hitting on, because Campbell had trouble earlier in the year, even cracking and getting on the field, and then we saw him and he's making plays. Like ascension, that's a good word for the Birds.
It just feels like defensively with that unit, it could be that way. And then I mean, the Packers defense, like, there's a reason they brought in Asante Samuel on a visit yesterday. Like, there's a reason they are intrigued with that cornerback, just like the Vikings are intrigued with that cornerback. I mean, the defense, I like the coordinator, Jeff Hafley. Micah Parsons is who he is, but it doesn't feel like that defense has been the dominant unit that it was at the beginning of the season. I mean, again, it's a complementary thing, and it just feels like they've lost the conviction in the complimentary nature of the way they had it earlier.
That's a perfect setup for Viks Bites next, because Asante Samuel Jr. will come up in the mix, and with Alec, who writes for The Athletic and theathletic.com. If you have not subscribed, we would strongly encourage it. Nordo and I have subscribed to The Athletic since its inception, and just this week, Alec has a really good breakdown of the game, Vikings and Ravens, with Johnny Athletic. We also have a McCarthy-related story.
Redmond.
And next segment, Jalen Redmond is going to get center stage 9 to noon with some things that Alec chronicled just this week involving Jalen Redmond, defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. Buffalo Wild Wings, Elk River. We're back after this. We are back at Buffalo Wild Wings, Elk River. It is now post time for Viks Bites, and Viks Bites provided by
Thousand Hills, lifetime grazed, grass-fed
beef.
You can shop online. Well, if you're in Elk, just cruise on up. It's Clearwater, Minnesota's finest Thousand Hills. So that's, I guess you jump back to 94, head west a little bit, you'll find them. Matt and everybody involved, the local Coburn's, Co-ops, Kowalski's locations. They're proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics as well. It's nutrient-dense beef. Love you some Thousand Hills.
Viks Bites, Thousand Hills, grass-fed beef. Thank you. Asante Samuel Jr. visiting the Minnesota Vikings, maybe even right now. Maybe he's working out / meeting them now. Alec, what do you think is the purpose behind this, and what chance would you give it that he doesn't leave Minnesota, that he signs with the team?
Well, I'm not sure. I'd give it a chance that it's possible. He has other visits planned after this, so he could leave and then ultimately make his decision.
Facility, though.
So Asante Samuel Jr., 26-year-old cornerback, son of a legend, great ball skills, and can play the zone coverages that Brian Flores wants to play. Now,
but has been out of work for 8 months.
Now, he's coming back from spinal fusion surgery. Throwing a guy back in, coming directly off that, it's probably going to take some time to work up to it. And then his tackling is not spectacular, and you have a cornerback group right now that has not had the greatest go of it from a tackling perspective. So I definitely, there's a chance. From what it sounds like, this is not like something that just surfaced. I think there's been some mutual interest for some time now, but we'll see how the medicals check out. Adding a cornerback for depth to me would make sense, just because if Byron Murphy or Isaiah Rodgers were to go down, it gets pretty dicey. So that's what I'd say.
And secondly and finally for Viks Bites, Alec once again wrote a really, really good story, very touching story at The Athletic and theathletic.com about the Vikings defensive lineman Jalen Redmond. Some of it many of you may have known, but when you get the vivid detail of like an X-ray and a black circle, and then black circles, and then somebody who has a very best friend who dies at age 23, somebody who's in Norman, Oklahoma, just ready to take off and like start life anew with football and or basketball, but football for sure. And then all of a sudden they're like, they can't breathe on their dormitory room floor, and you're thinking that like everything is over. This Jalen Redmond story you wrote, man, I didn't realize he had been through as much as he had. Well, then the calf strain with the Carolina Panthers, it's like calf strain, I'm going to play through it. All right, well, you ain't playing great, so we're probably just going to cut you, maybe put you on the practice squad. Well, that was blood clot related.
Yeah.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, the Jalen Redmond, watching his development since he arrived, you'll remember this. Like one of the first practices since that he was here last summer, Kevin O'Connell kicked him out of practice, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, you wrote that. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, so there was like a fight in practice, and Kevin has a rule at the time where like there's no fighting, and he gets thrown out. He's number 61. You're thinking this guy's got no chance.
Who do you think you are, T.R. Tard?
but internally, they were over the moon about what they were seeing from him. And then, like, you hear about that, him being thrown out now, and it's like, well, we kind of like the meanness, the attitude, the edge that he had even at the time. But, yeah, I mean, this guy has navigated blood clots. And then people have asked me a lot, or over the last year and a half, why hasn't he changed from number 61? And I've thought the same thing. Like, it's a brutal number. And so I went up to him in the locker room a couple weeks ago, and I was just messing around, joking around. And I asked him, like, have you thought about changing from 61? And he told me the story of when he was in high school, he wore, I believe, number 6, and his best friend, Jawan Walker, wore number 1. And Jawan passed away at 23 years old, went to take a nap, passed away. Yeah. And so he has continued to wear 61 to honor his best friend who passed away. And like when he told me that, just knowing the extent of his story and how good he's been, it was a no-brainer story. Well, and just watching him grow and the amount of trust that he has from teammates and coaches, it's been pretty freaking cool.
And I don't know if he does, and this is the last paragraph, last sentence in the story, theathletic.com. I don't know if he prays this or if he just says it. I do know Jalen is a person of prayer because he will pray occasionally in the locker room or on the sideline. But he says, Jawan, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I mean, that choked me up a little bit this morning, bro.
Well, he was a basketball player. And like the coaches and teammates had to really convince him to come play football. Not that he hadn't played, but he was a basketball guy. And Jawan, who was one of his best friends, was huge in kind of convincing him that he should play football. So it was, I mean, that was doing the story on Jalen Redmond is the type of story that you don't see it all the time in football because UDFA guys just don't have this type of arc. And you got to give credit. I'll just say this, like Ryan Grigson takes a lot of shots from people just from but the reason Jalen Redmond is a Minnesota Vikings defensive tackle playing 50 snaps is because Ryan Grigson identified him on film playing for the Arlington Renegades. And that's not to say the drafting has been perfect or the front office or any of that. But I do want to credit how they identified him in the first place, and then Brian Flores' willingness to believe in him once he arrived in the building.
It's cool, and your opportunity with The Athletic, you've written a lot of features on specific players, and this isn't the first one that has led a story down the road of tough upbringing, troubled circumstances, finding their way, and accomplishing dreams. But it just kind of makes me think sometimes, and you saw this, the late Kyrie Jackson, part of his story just kind of leads me down a road, like how humans encounter and use adversity in their lives, and then how maybe they triumph over it. I mean, Jalen Redmond, will he be a Hall of Fame football player? Maybe not.
That's good.
It's not been written yet, but to the end of as a human, in covering, not only personal health issues, but the death of a friend and just the emotion and everything behind that, all while in the end we operate in a world of frivolity with sports, but trying to achieve that dream, people meet crossroads, right? And the resistance, and you see it a lot in sports where a lot of these players encountered a hell of a lot of issues as kids, and it wasn't a perfect home and a picket fence.
True.
But they had this gift. And for them to lock in, focus, maximize it, whatever the motivations personally behind it, for them to overcome some of that stuff, it's really cool that you get to write stories like that. It's just super captivating to me and fascinating, kind of the melting pot of sports locker rooms, how these guys get from point A, which starts at different levels, by the way, but point B finds themselves playing a professional sport and being very blessed in doing so.
And I think it's beautiful the way you laid that out, because without getting into the weeds, you and I in our lives both have experienced personal tragedy.
Yeah.
Recently or throughout the past. And if we were to really sit here and minister to people or counsel to people or talk to people like what you went through and what was different, It is, cliches are cliches because they're age old and true. So people can be like, "I talking cliches, right? Whatever." No, well, you say things because they're true, and they've been true for a long time. So when I or we say, speaking for us, because I think it's going to be accurate, there are certain tragedies that hit your life that humble you in ways you can't see coming.
Indeed.
And it also helps you recognize things that maybe would wind you up to an 8, 9, or 10 before, now wind you up to a 2, 3, or 4, and you handle them differently. I said something on the radio the other day, just in passing, where it's like, I don't prefer to argue. I can argue if we need to argue, but I don't prefer it. In fact, if I think I'm 75% right, then it's important to me in certain facets of my life to be the first to say I'm sorry. Even if I think I'm 75% right. Because it's not only the right thing to do, but it diffuses things and it causes a phase change. It causes things to settle so you can actually accomplish things. But I can't always say that I was that person. And so so many emotions were triggered by the story that you wrote. To hear Eric speak the way he did, knowing his life as well as I do over the last decade and change, that was beautiful.
Well, I thought about, it's a way different conversation, but you're talking about like the different upbringings and what guys have navigated. Like you look at J.J. McCarthy.
Well, with Redmond, just to land the plane here, the humbling part. Yeah, I thought for sure I should be drafted. Yeah, I was surprised. 23-year-old best friend dies. Everybody else, you could just tell his perspective changed.
Yeah. I've thought a lot about J.J. McCarthy, not within this conversation, but like this is a guy who grew up with a great family, a great home, has been the star quarterback, played at IMG, went to Michigan. He's the hero. And so you would think from the outside, man, this guy, everything's great, everything's easy, everything's perfect. And then he suffers the injuries he suffered. And he's gotten into it a little bit, but the mental, I guess, just challenge, hurdle, complication of you've always been the guy, you suffer the injury, you can't be with your team. Like there is a serious amount of adversity within that. And I've just thought about JJ with this from he's 22 years old. Imagine how hard life was as a 22-year-old anyway. And you got the microscopic lens on you, every throw you make, every step you take, every word you speak. It is a tough place to be. And I credit him, honestly, for, like, that's what I was thinking about a lot coming out of that game was you navigate being out again, 5 weeks out, and he comes back and performs in the spotlight like that. It has not been an easy road for him. Different conversation. Just something that's, it's gone through my mind a lot.
In closing here, tell me this alter ego 9 thing is not going to have legs. And I'm going to tell you why I hope it doesn't have legs. It's not him. Okay? I don't know why he said what he said. The scowl, the unbelievable video with O'Connell giving him the ball and the
mean mugging.
Mean mug, all that. Okay, that's he's a child. Okay, he's a child playing a man's game, still growing up. He has childlike qualities while being very gifted and good at what he does. But this 9 alter ego thing, that thing's dumb. I hope it doesn't get legs.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of out of nowhere in the press conference.
Yeah, it's not him. I'm just telling you right now, it's not him.
It was.
I just bet he feels moments. Like I don't think it's false.
Yeah, but it's it's gaining traction in a way that I'm just saying. I'm just saying that is not him.
Here's the thing. I remember maybe in August I wrote a story about JJ, and in it was like he's still a kid. And I remember there were people who replied to the story and they're like, why do you keep calling him a kid?
Yeah.
We're really mad about that. Well, he's 22 years old. And so there is a lot of, at that time, growth, learning, development that has to go on. And so what he says, what he does, he's not going to be perfect. In the games, he's not going to be perfect. He's 22. There's a lot of growth. it's like any of us at 22 years old. If everything we said and everything we did was documented, you'd probably be like, what in the world?
Thank goodness social media didn't exist back then.
So, yeah, I don't know whether the 9 thing catches on. I will say this. I like this. Justin Jefferson was asked about it. He said, our team has a lot of nice guys, and sometimes we kind of need the dog to come out within our team, and I like that. Like, this is football. I know I'm this nerdy, journalist guy, but this is football. It requires some absolute kind of, borderline maniacal behavior to perform on Sunday. And so if that's where the place JJ has to go to do that, and that galvanizes the group,
I got you.
I'm kind of for that.
Alec Lewis, the Athletic, Matt Producer. I'm Paul Allen. 9 to noon is the radio show at Buffalo Wild Wings Elk River, and we head into the final hour of the presentation after this.